Not apple cider, just juice. That's what I'm sipping on right now. I do have to say though, my favorite apple juice is, well, the best one that I had was down in Mexico.
Oh.
And it was like not the from concentrate stuff, and it actually looked like apple cider.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get a similar product, I guess, from the people that do the like Simply brand.
Yeah.
They do like a Simply apple, and it's that like darker, cloudier thing, right? And it, like, I guess I'm confused because they call it apple juice, but like it looks and tastes like cider to me. So now I'm like having an existential crisis on what the difference is between apple juice and apple cider.
I'm looking this up because in my mind, it's just that apple juice is for children and apple cider is for adults.
Well, excuse me for my childish ways.
Well, you're not drinking out of a plastic Ninja Turtles glass this time, so you're adult enough. Okay.
So my routine is that I only drink water from those plastic cups.
Keep them clean.
Because I like, yeah. Because they're plastic cups. They're probably not meant to have lasted as long as I've had them, right?
Yeah.
So I like wouldn't get them all dirty and sticky and stuff like that. So I'll have my water cup for a week or so and then wash it.
Okay. Well, I've got an answer for us about cider v juice.
Okay.
From tastingtable.com, which has a real distressing logo. Apple cider is made from apples that are washed, cut, and ground into an apple mash similar to applesauce. The mash is then wrapped in cloth and pressed into fresh juice. The official description from the Massachusetts Department of Agriculture says cider is raw apple juice that has not undergone a filtration process to remove coarse particles of pulp or sediment. On the other hand, apple juice undergoes a filtration to remove pulp and is then pasteurized to extend the shelf life.
Interesting.
Okay.
So it's okay. That makes sense. So it's basically the same thing. It's just like, hey, this one is treated to last longer and not have thickness. That's the right word. Apple juice with a thickness is what cider is.
Thick juice.
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 114 of the Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how's it going?
It's going all right. I'm wearing eyeliner today, which I don't typically do, but that's a goal of mine, to be better at eyeliner.
Just in general, or is this like a, hey, it's the pandemic, I haven't really put on makeup all that much, so
a bit,
once or twice a week?
A bit of both. I've never been good at eyeliner. Like, I can't, like, I can do one eye okay, but if I go to the other one, like, I can never get them symmetrical.
The only reason why I know that pain is because I'm an artist and having to draw faces. It's like, I can do one eye, great, but once I get that next one, ugh.
Yeah, and my face doesn't have like any shape to it. Like I have no bones. Like, I must have bones. Intellectually, I know I have bones, but like, if you didn't know,
it's Halloween.
A face,
of course we all have bones.
If you didn't know a face had a skull behind it, you'd look at my face and presume I don't, because I'm just sort of like squishy, you know? So like, I can't like match like the contours of my cheekbones or my face or anything.
Yeah. That's funny. Thank God for like Photoshop or those like digital things, because you can then flip the composition and just draw the same eye twice, basically, and then flip it back, and you're like, haha, I have cheated.
This is the hack I want out of real life.
Right? Yeah. Good stuff. Wow. So this week has been an interesting week, I feel like. The boring stuff aside, which is just that work was a little bit slower this week, which was nice. I feel like this was an action-packed week. There's a lot that happened.
Yeah.
I think it's at least worth mentioning that Trump now has COVID. In the same week that all his tax returns and stuff finally came out. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But yeah, there's movie news that I was not expecting. There is all kinds of stuff. Time travel is real, Melissa. They have proven time travel.
Let's start there, because I was looking at this article and it starts with this is from IGN, called Paradox-Free Time Travel Proven Possible by Physics Student. And it says, in a peer-reviewed paper published in Classical and Quantum Gravity. And of course, I wasn't really looking at any of this IGN article about time travel. I was just looking at this journal because I'm like, I haven't heard of this journal. And
I linked the actual journal or some website that has his whole paper there.
Yeah. I just want to say that when somebody says an article has been peer-reviewed, that's not very many people. Not to discourage this article or the IGN article about the academic article, but like maybe 4 people have seen this. And it could be more, were like, but it might be very few.
Sounds right.
Yeah,
sounds right. That's so funny. But yeah, I'm fascinated by this because I saw this because IGN tweeted it out. And then I was like, there has to be some other website that has a better article on this than IGN.
That's where I come from all my scientific breakthroughs.
Right? Yeah, no offense to IGN, who we mention a lot on Crossplay because they're a video game website. But they tweeted it out with a picture of Captain America from Endgame. And I was just like, what are you guys doing? But I read that. I think I read an article on, I don't remember. I want to say it was Variety, but again, it's Variety. Or maybe it was Vanity Fair. It was something with a V, I think. I don't remember. But I read something on that, and I was just like, yeah, I don't really, like, I just need to go read the actual paper and see what that thing is. And so I found the actual article, and yeah, I understand almost nothing of this thing. I have no idea what it is talking about. Melissa, you were frozen for a second there, but you are now back, I believe. I think. Maybe not.
What do you mean, maybe not?
Oh, I am hearing robot-y stuff on your end. We have lost Melissa to time travel. Oh, she's back, I think. Wait, no.
What?
We are having technical difficulties, it looks like.
Why? I'm right here. I haven't gone anywhere.
I'm trying to understand this article. Yeah, see, she's super laggy is what it is, Melissa, if you can hear me now. Seems like you're kind of back. I'm seeing movement. It's pixelated, but I'm seeing movement now. Melissa says she's trying her best. She just sent a message on on Skype. Yeah, it's starting to look normal again to me now. Are you there? Can you?
Yes, I don't go anywhere, Kyle. I'm always right here.
Okay, good. Well, you're not going anywhere, but the connection is bad. bad.
I'm so upset when the connection does this to me because it doesn't give me a warning. Like, nothing happens. Like, you might get, like, pixelated for half a second and then you're immediately back to normal. And then you tell me, like, oh, you're frozen. You're nowhere. You've ceased to be a human being and colleague whatsoever. And I'm like, I can't solve a problem if nobody tells me why the problem happens.
It's connection. It's not really something you can fix. But time travel. Let's talk about that. Did you get a chance to read any of this? Because I tried parsing it as best I could, and I got nowhere.
I'm a different kind of nerd than you are, and I was just looking at the publisher website because I just want to check out other academic publishers and see what their game is.
Yeah.
I have not heard of this one. They seem they're strictly science, which might be why.
Yeah. So I ended up reading the thesis, the introduction, and the conclusion, because once he got past that, he was like, okay, math, let's do math. And I was just like, let's tune out. But essentially, I guess what they're theorizing, or they think that they've proven, or like theoretically proven, is that they can have paradox-free time travel. And from what I understand, and I might be completely wrong with this, I think that they're saying there are certain events that are just kind of like unmovable.
Yeah.
I like that's the thing of like, hey, if you wanted to time travel and go back in the past and stop the first stop patient 0 of COVID-19, I think it's like, in most modern day thinking, they would think that that would be a paradox, because then that erases your reasoning for going back in time in the first place, right? But I think because in both the IGN article and the other one I read, they gave this COVID example, and they were saying something along the lines of, like, if you did that, then it would essentially fight back, and would, if that guy didn't get infected, someone else would, or you would be infected, or something like that. So it's like, yeah, you can time travel, you have some free will, you can do things and stuff like that, but there are certain events. But then I don't even know if that is essentially what they're saying.
I'm going to wait until we get a whole special issue exclusively about time travel before I draw any conclusions.
I mean, sure. That's fair. You know me. I'm just a big time travel fan. So I was like, ooh, what is this?
And I'm a big academia fan. I want to point out that the name of this journal is Classical and Quantum Gravity. Which is just a lovely string of words. I know there was classical gravity. Are we in contemporary gravity now? Alternate gravity?
I think we're in Silver Age gravity.
Indie gravity.
Right? Yeah. Indie. Good stuff.
I've got this new kind of gravity. Maybe you haven't heard of it.
Yeah. Hipster gravity.
Yeah, I'm an artisanal gravity craftsman.
Good stuff. So I thought that was an interesting note to the week, that time travel has been apparently, theoretically, proven possible somehow.
At least like 6 people agree.
I agree too. Put me on. I peer reviewed it. I skipped most of it, but I peer reviewed your conclusion.
Or the abstract.
Right, yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Melissa, I also have another story that I put on here. More shenanigans from Flight Simulator, Microsoft
that
Flight Simulator. So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator and how there was this giant tower in Australia. Well, apparently, there is a giant hole, like in the. Let me see, where is this? Did they say it's in Brazil? Yeah, there's this like giant hole in the earth that is there. Let me see if I can show you guys all of this stuff.
Oh, this video is enjoyable. So this little blue plane is flying down into this deep, deep chasm. And it flies down so far that it breaks and it starts like shuddering and pinwheeling and spinning around and just gets all these shadow images. And now there's like 16 planes.
That's so funny. Yeah. What the hell? That's wild. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, Melissa would get a kick out of this.
You know, I love a chasm. A chasm. Hold on.
There's just a giant hole in Brazil in cyberspace. Just kind of ridiculous. Yeah. I just like, how does something like that appear? Like I know. I guess I never really read the article to find out.
Abstracts only.
If they
That's
say
our
why.
policy.
Yeah, I can't miss it. It's a giant chasm. Blah blah blah.
It's not working.
I see another video down below of someone flying at the bottom of it. Whoa, weird. Yeah, I guess they haven't figured out why, at least from the article I'm looking at here in PC Gamer. But how does something like that happen? Like we figured out why that tower was there. Like it was the map data that they were pulling in. But this is just wild that it like goes into the center of the earth. I have no idea.
I'm not listening.
I've tuned you out.
No, sorry. I needed to figure out if it was pronounced chasm or chasm, and something was wrong with my speakers. I've been trying to fix it.
I've always.
It's chasm.
That's what
fixed it.
I've said. Yeah, chasm.
Chasm. Kazam.
But how does a giant chasm like this happen?
Erosion?
I don't understand. But it's not that there's like a hole there where things used to be. The stuff like bent down and there's just like this.
Yeah, it's got a funnel dip. It's just like a thing I was explaining to you several weeks ago. The Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes to a 3D negavoid.
Sure, yeah.
It's just that.
It's so weird.
Yeah, we have a Homer cubed situation going on. Could happen to anyone.
Video games are cool though. Like I like this like live service aspect where it's just like stuff like this is going to happen randomly, and it's just like, up to people to find it and explore it.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen in any other media. It's not like you're watching The Graduate and then suddenly like Dustin Hoffman starts sinking. Like nobody has like one weird copy of The Graduate that does that. You could have a DVD that's broken or a book that's misprinted or something, but it's not going to do that.
Yeah, we had a story on Crossplay like a month or two ago. This guy wrote some fantasy book, just a random fantasy book. Yeah,
I know this story.
And he ended up like having a recipe in there from Zelda Breath of the Wild and didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. He just like Googled some recipe and the thing that popped up.
Like the heroine, I think, was talking about how she dyes fabrics and all the berries
Right.
she uses to dye fabrics. And one of the, like, this guy just Googled, how do you make this kind of dye? And he didn't realize that the answer was from Breath of the Wild, and he's citing a fictional berry. He just put it in his book.
Yeah, it's great. So, like, I mean, stuff like that could happen, I guess. I've seen a film burn up as I was watching a movie. That was kind of cool. I don't remember the movie. It was unforgettable. I mean, it was unforgettable. No, it was forgettable. But it, like, I remember it burning up because it looked like it was melting and bubbling.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is weird. This is cool. And they're just like, sorry, folks, that's not supposed to happen. So I think we got like free tickets to the next time or something. But
nice.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen with movies now. But yeah, like video games is the only place that this can happen in. That's
I love
so
a glitch.
Cool. Yeah. It's a glitch in the Matrix. Ah, good stuff. Melissa.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Not very. I'm like maybe 5'5". I think if we're strictly speaking, I am 5'4 3/4. But I'm not a child, so I don't give anybody a number that's specific. I don't need to show off.
Okay, because I don't think you've ever told me how tall you were. Maybe you did a long time ago. But you put down here on our docket of topics and stuff that you are tired of being so tall.
So I told you last weekend it was my roommate's birthday and she had a friend come over. And this is a friend I've heard about over and over again and I've never met yet. Because most of the time we've lived together, we've been under a pandemic. So this lady comes over and I'm like, golly, she's really tall. And like I've been doing this about actors lately. You remember when I went to see Tenet and the main point of my review is look at how tall Elizabeth Debicki is. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
I'll just be watching a movie and I'm like, look at that guy. Oh, he's so tall. And I realized why I've been fixating on it.
Slender Man. He's so tall.
Fixating on it because I am the tallest thing around. My roommate's a very short lady. She's like a DeVito high. And so the tallest person I've been around...
Wait. That's a TV show I want. DeVito High. Danny DeVito is the principal of a high school dealing with a bunch of smart aleck kids. Oh. That would be great. Make it happen. Hire me.
No, but like nobody names a high school after the current principal. DeVito's like an alumni. Like he's the legacy.
Just what the show would be called. It's not actually named after him.
No, but imagine if the school, strictly the school, is named DeVito High after its number one alumna, Danny DeVito. And there's like a statue of Danny DeVito in the courtyard. You know, the mascot is the fighting DeVitos.
There's a statue of Lois Guzman at Greendale Community College in Community.
I love that.
Yeah.
But imagine if it's just like a normal high school show, but the legacy they're all trying to live up to is Danny DeVito. The theater exclusively does DeVito productions. It's like, yeah, our fall one-act play series is just 3 episodes of Taxi.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah, she's very small, and so I'm the big one. I'm the big one. And when I go back out into public, and I'm in public sometimes, but if I go into a situation where I'm continually around people, like when I go back to my office, like that's gonna weird me out. Like I'm gonna need to crawl under my desk and like readjust myself to the concept of human size. And
that's
being
funny.
Small again.
Because yeah, you mentioned that, and I was just like, wait a minute, do I know how tall Melissa is? And I was like, I don't think I do.
Not very.
And so I was like, well, I don't know. I guess like tall for a girl is like
No,
5'6" and above.
I
Like,
guess.
yeah, maybe, but I feel like I'm not all that tall. Like I feel like I'm an average height. I'm 5'9".
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Five-
about average.
5'10" on a good day, right?
If I really believe in myself.
Right, yeah. But I was like, is she as tall as me? Is she taller than me? I have no idea. How tall is Melissa? I was just like, I'm having an existential crisis over here. How tall is she?
I'm just taller than the one person I ever see. When I was first listening to the Whatnauts, I imagined you being several inches taller and also that you had glasses. I was surprised to find out neither were true. You sound like you should have glasses.
Yeah, I don't have glasses. I've never needed them.
That's good.
At one point thought I did, but I think that was me just subconsciously being like, I think glasses are cool. I want to wear glasses. And we went and got my eyes checked, and they're like, okay, why are you here?
For fashion.
Yeah. Imagine the possibilities, Doc.
Yeah, I'm too young to get any piercings on my face yet. I need some sort of an accessory up here.
Right? Yeah. No, I still have 20/20 vision as far as I know. I haven't had problems, which is kind of amazing to me because everything I do is on screens. I am on screens literally all day. But I don't get, like, my eyes don't start to hurt. I don't get headaches or stuff like that. I just, like, that this is just what I do. It's just the normal.
Maybe, like, we're slowly evolving to have our eyes adjust to more lights like these.
Maybe.
Yeah. I've been thinking about evolving a lot lately. Like, you know who the
well,
first...
if you want to, you should.
No, you know, in the first X-Men movie where there's just pictures of, like, DNA and, like, Jean Grey's narrating it, and it's just talking about how, like, humans just, like, grow when we need to grow, you know? And I've just been wondering, like, when we're all gonna do that. Like, if we're all... like, if we're all in this major disaster scenario... Like, this would be the time to be X-Men. This is the time when we are needed most. You know, like, when are we just going to get invulnerable? Or when are we just going to stop needing to sleep so that we can work those extra hours? Yeah. I think about this all the time.
Like when you hear stories of, like, oh, they lived in a cave for, like, 3 years and they lost their sense of sight, but their hearing is so good. Like, all of that stuff. Like, I feel like that's me. Like, I've barely seen the sun. I'm so pasty pale, and it's just like, I think I'm becoming a vampire. Like,
you're going to learn to turn into mist.
Right, yeah. Just, so, I don't know, man. I yeah. One day, what new feature do you think humans will have next?
I wish I could just work more. Like, I really wish I could just, you know, like, I have an 8-hour work day. Yeah, but I wish I could, like, seriously work for 8 solid hours, and, like, I would evolve past the need for a break or a distraction or anything like that. Like, I could calibrate my mind to such a high mechanical quality that I could answer an email every 3 minutes for 8 hours without stopping to think, and it would come as the second nature, and I'd just be like a deity of business.
I feel like that's what CEOs think we already do. Just like, you will work for 8 straight hours, do nothing but answer emails and do this, work.
I want to, because I just think about, like, how much extra business I could bring into my office if I ascended to that next metaphysical level. Like, I'd
Yeah.
be raking up so much dough for the office. But then I thought about what a terror that would be if, like, I had to be gone for the day and then my coworkers had to cover for me. They're like, oh, how much work volume does Melissa have? Like, I didn't learn how to do that. I'm not a god.
I'm not evolved yet.
So, like, it wouldn't be good to do it unless I could make all of us do it.
Right.
Just
Like, oh
love
man,
that.
I'm supposed to evolve next Tuesday. I don't have this skill yet. Like,
We all have a meeting. We all watch a PowerPoint together, and that teaches us somehow. Like, imagine if there wasn't an Avengers. There was just one office in suburban Missouri who got very, very good.
oh no, Brandon is evolving. It's like the
Like,
Pokemon
we just all
screen.
sit there typing, and our eyes are glowing, and like a third eye comes out of our forehead. This is my fantasy. I want to be a business god.
business god. Melissa, god of business.
Right.
Funny stuff.
I have another
Man.
question for you.
Yes.
Do you have any nicknames? And are there any nicknames you wish you had?
Mm.
Because they were talking about this
Good
on
question.
All Fantasy Everything this week. That was their topic. We're going to draft nicknames we wish we had.
Actually, funny you mentioned that because I was
Yeah.
thinking in the back of my head, we should do a draft episode here on the Captain's Log
Yes.
coming up soon. I had forgotten the name of the one that you made me listen to, but another podcast I listened to, they have a Patreon tier where if you pay a certain amount, like you can be an advertisement for,
Yeah.
for them. So someone who has a fantasy giraffe style podcast is at that tier, and they were advertising that, and I was like, we should do another one of those because we did one for Patreon,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
exclusive stuff, but we should do one here on the Captain's Log proper.
Yeah. Maybe
someday
like
soon.
next week. I was thinking about just suggesting this for my birthday next weekend. Like, can we just do a
Yeah.
draft? This is all I
Yeah.
want to do. I'm going to have
Let's
Jack
do
on
it.
or something. Yeah.
Let's do it. Nicknames. I've never really had a nickname,
Your name's
That-
very
that-
short to begin with.
right? I've had people call me Kai, which sure, I guess,
Yeah.
right? Like I can see where you got it, but no nicknames have stuck. Like it's very rare that someone has tried to give me a nickname.
Do your parents have like a pet name for you?
No,
Oh.
they don't love me.
They only have a child name for me, and it's the name that I have. Boy!
Get over here, boy. Human.
I wish there was a cool, like just a chill, relaxed, no stress way to let people know I'm cool with nicknames. Because I feel like if you mention that, then you're like, you're
That
fishing.
feels like a Twitter or Tinder bio type of thing. Like cool with nicknames.
Like, people ask me what my name is, and I say it's Melissa as a statement of fact. That factually is my name, but it's not necessarily a statement of preference. Like,
You should just make up your own. Just be like, my name is Melissa, but you can call me Melly Mel.
yeah, I'll take anything. Forget that rapper that already goes by that
Right,
name.
yeah.
It's me now. Like, Melissa Wilkinson is a name you can really screw with as much as you want, and I wish people knew they could take that opportunity.
Yeah. Like Silky Wilky or something like that. I don't know.
I haven't gotten that one. No, I get Mel a decent amount. My mom calls me Missa because that's how the little brother would pronounce my name when he was a baby. Mel,
Gotcha.
Melly, Miss Meliss from a couple aunts and grandmas. Haven't heard that one in a while. Nobody's ever tried Liss before, but I wish somebody would. I know it's like the sixth clearest thing you would think of if you're trying to nickname
Right,
Melissa,
it's
so like
way-
nobody gets to it. But like, there's a
way
lot.
down there.
You can like break my name down into a bunch of little Lego bricks and like build it back up in a lot of ways. And just nobody's trying, so I have to do it to myself, because I'm alone all day, just talking to me. And I'm like, what
Yeah.
other nicknames can I have? I've been calling myself Big W a lot.
Yes, I love it.
I just wish people like would call me Big W, but like if they want to, I'm not gonna make anybody do anything. Like whatever my name is, whatever you think my name
Kyle
is.
Springer, and as always, I am joined by Big W.
Big W's here.
That's great.
That's what I call myself when I'm trying to cheer myself on.
or like you give yourself a pep talk, like all right, Big W, you got this. Come on,
Yeah.
Clean this bookshelf. You can do it.
I don't need to be cheered on for that. That's what I do already. Like I've told you that I have these older neighbors that I help out sometimes. And I was bringing them lunch last weekend, and they're like, "Oh, what are you going to do with the rest of the day?" And I'm like, "I've got housework to do." And they're like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." And I'm like, "No, it is. I like the housework. I like to do it."
No, it's okay. Big W likes housework.
Big W cleans it all.
Wow, I find that really funny. That's great. I love that.
I wish people would call me by my last name if they want to. It's fun. It's all fun to say. I had two high school teachers who were across the hall from each other, and like one of them tried it and then the other one tried it, and then it never totally stuck with either of them, but the couple times it happened.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I played lacrosse, and a couple of the people tried using my last name. It'd be like, Springer, get over here, and that also didn't stick, and I quit playing lacrosse after 2 years. So
I feel like
not for me.
If you want to go by your last name, you have to become an athlete or a detective. The two major careers.
I guess I could still be a detective.
Right. Oh, I bought a trench coat yesterday.
What?
Yesterday I ordered myself some new clothes for fall, and I bought this like little black trench coat jacket, and I bought some cute Mary Janes. So I'm really excited to become a teen
What
sleuth.
are Mary Janes? I only know one Mary Jane, and she's married to Peter Parker.
Yeah,
well,
these
okay.
are
I know two Mary Janes. The euphemism for the marijuanas.
Mary Jane shoes. They're just like cute, simple little flats. Like they're just like classic girl shoe. Like if you see like a cartoon drawing of a girl from like the 60s, that's the shoe that she has on.
Okay.
Like you're going to Google it and you're just going to be like, "Oh yeah, girl shoe."
Ew, girl shoes.
Oh, it's what I like. I just want simple, plain black leather, neat little lace-up flat shoes.
I gotcha. Okay. That's really funny too that you also bought a trench coat. So I recently put a new comic in my pull list at my local comic book store. It's called The Department of Truth. The first issue came out on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. I haven't read it yet. It's just sitting in my box because they will only do local deliveries if it's $40 or more worth of stuff. So I wait a couple weeks. But I saw online that there was some comic book store that for the like issue 1 of this comic, I was like doing some really cool marketing that I thought was brilliant. They hired people to stand around town in trench coats and like detective hats. I'm not sure what they're called.
A
but
fedora.
Maybe a fedora, not really a fedora though, but like that kind of just a hat you would see a detective wear, right?
Okay.
They had like fake mustaches or something, and you would have to like go up to them and say a certain code word if you saw one of them, and they would give you something. And I don't know what it was that they were passing out, but they said it was top secret, you know.
It's the film Top Secret starring Val Kilmer.
Right, but like that's the book, I guess, is about like spies and conspiracies and stuff like that in the government and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. Just like you'll find some guy walking around town in a classic trench coat and a detective hat and just being like, so I heard the onions were overcooked. And they'll just be like, yes, I know they tasted dry, and then they'll hand you something, right? And it's just like, that's so cool. I love that.
God, a code phrase is great. One of these days, when I may return to a bar, I want to go to one of those secret bars, like the speakeasies or anything that's just like weird secret themed, where I do need a code word to get in.
Mm-hmm. Strange.
I wish. What if just like an Applebee's does that to spice up business? You need a code word to get into the Applebee's.
Hey, since I spend so much time at Chili's by myself, I should start that up. Have like secret pins or something that you can put on your vest or something. And if you approach me and say the code word, I'll give you a pin. Like, you found me.
You're the one who supplies all the flair.
Right,
just get it from that guy.
That's funny.
I don't know if I told you when I was doing this like 2 years ago, but I spent several weeks like in fall 2018 trying to decide on the spookiest chain bar and grill.
Spookiest house,
because not
like most likely haunted or just like I don't want to go in there because the whole thing is just scary and the food is scary, and why would anyone want to eat that?
No, just like an eerie atmosphere. Like, okay, no chain bar and grill is spooky, but still, one of them has to be spookier.
You know what? I would make an argument for Long John Silver's. I feel like they're spooky in the Scooby-Doo sense, right? Like there's probably a haunted pirate back there.
Yeah, a painting with eyes.
Right,
no,
yeah.
We're talking about chain bar and grills, and I think it is Applebee's, because in Applebee's, it's very shadowy.
I can see
and
that,
like you
yeah.
go in, and the restaurant's on like different levels. Like you
Pizzeria
step down
Uno
to get into the bar.
I think Pizzeria...
Yeah, we don't have that one.
Uno would be another one.
We don't have a Pizzeria Uno. I've never seen one.
Yeah, Applebee's would fit, I think.
I mean, it's spookier than like a Longhorn or a 54th Street or a Red Robin. A Red Robin's like the least spooky place you can go.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Robin's not haunted. I don't know. Trying to think. I feel like there's a chance Fuddruckers might be.
Oh, that's a good one. A Fuddruckers feels like lightly cursed.
Right? Yeah. It's only certain locations.
Some of them might be, based on the individual franchisee. I do this a lot. Yeah. I wanted to try and figure out which local movie theater is the spookiest one. Again, none of them are spooky, but one of them is still like whatever quantum tiny amount of spookiness they have. One of them's going to have like a micron more of spookiness than another one. Mm-hmm. So we went to one that was deep inside a mostly deserted mall. Like, it's not one where like the theater has its own exterior entrance. Like, no, you have to go like into the mall and then up an escalator, and on like the third floor of this mall is the movie theater.
Wow. Movie theater on the third floor. That, yeah. Interesting. I could see that, yeah.
And like the
malls
theater,
are just haunted in general.
this one is. I was at it a couple of weeks ago to go to the V-Stock, but the V-Stock has an exterior entrance, so I need to go
V-Stock?
into the mall.
Is that what's that?
It's short for vintage stock. It's like a Slackers or a Hastings.
Virtual. Okay.
It's just like a used. Well, they've got new stuff, but this is where you take your like used books and movies and CDs, and they've got a big mix of new stuff and like used stuff.
I gotcha.
So I went there the other week to just trawl the Labor Day sale and get cheap movies.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Melissa, we got a lot of entertainment news to talk about here. Let's dive in. So you mentioned that you are re-listening to the Black Tapes podcast.
Because it's spooky times.
Yeah, sure is. I want to say it was around this time, I guess 6 years ago, that I first listened to the Black Tapes. Because I was just like, Paul and I were just like, we're talking about starting up the podcast. Yeah. I think technically we started in October. So yeah, like our first episodes would have technically been like 6 years ago or like 5 years ago. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I looked it up because I was curious. My podcast feed says that the first episode dropped in May 2015.
May 2015.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Of 2015. Well, maybe they updated it later. I don't know, but it says May 2015.
Oh, you're talking about the Black Tapes.
Oh, yeah, Black Tapes. Sorry.
The Whatnauts didn't come out then.
Yeah, the Whatnauts came out in, the first episode of Whatnauts was...
We recorded it in October.
Yeah, it was January 2016.
Yeah, because we stacked them up. But we recorded it in October. But yeah. Good stuff. I miss the Black Tapes. I wish there was more of it.
This is why I'm listening to it, because one, it's 1st of October, all the spooky stuff comes out that hasn't already been brought out in mid-September. I hung up Halloween lights this week. I'm getting ready for it. But yeah, I'm like, I need something spooky, and I need comfort food. So we're going to listen to all of Black Tapes again.
It's a good show. They did tease more of it like a year ago or something, but I don't know if it's happening or not.
I saw that when
Paul Bay is like, he's left and right. He's selling TV show pilots and stuff like that. He's putting in a lot of work there. So I don't know.
So I'm looking at their podcast feed, and originally the last episode dropped November 2017, and it says in the season 3 finale. And then they re-released all of the season 3 episodes, and the new re-release of the last episode says in the season 3 mid-season finale, which may be just alluding to the fact that the last season was 6 episodes instead of 12. It's half the length of the other seasons. But it says the mid-season, implying that there would be more to come.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, they re-released that episode in January of this year. I would love to hear a continuation of this.
That's a good sign then.
Yeah.
I would love to get some more Black Tapes. Interesting. I also listened to Tanis, and I eventually fell off of Tanis.
Same.
I never checked out Rabbits.
You dig Rabbits. I think Rabbits is pretty strong.
Okay. I should go back to that one
Tanis
day.
I like, but due to the very nature of the mystery, the whole show is so vague and fuzzy, and I felt like I never really had a handle on what was going on, and it seemed like I would listen to a whole season, and I'm like, I don't even really know what happened.
Yeah, right, yeah. Which is kind of the nature of those investigative style shows. Just like, well, we're just going to investigate this and see what happens, right? Mm. Yeah, interesting. I think it's a good time to revisit the Black Tapes, where we just started our Halloween month on the review show. We're watching Hannibal season 1 for the first week in that. I have never seen Hannibal before. So this is my first time watching it. It's been on my list, but it's never been a priority on my list, and I don't know why. But yeah, we'll be talking about that tomorrow, actually, on the review show, because we're recording this Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So,
yeah, I'm listening to Black.
I'm still. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm listening to Black Tapes again, and for more spooky comfort food, I'm going back and watching more old episodes of X-Files, which I haven't done in a long time. Good
stuff. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to pitch for my thing. I have it narrowed down to 3 things, so I could just go with that, but I don't know if those are the ones that I actually want to pitch or not.
Yeah.
If there's something else out there that's better or easier. But you had an interesting idea, and I'm kind of going with that.
Nice.
Where you were like, hey, I don't know much about the like darker magic side of DC Comics or Marvel and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going that route.
Nice. That sounds fun. Sounds like a good palate cleanser after Hannibal.
We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Hannibal. It'll be an interesting one for sure. But bigger movie news, Miss Marvel has been cast. Disney Plus has been working on their Miss Marvel TV show following Kamala Khan, and she has finally been cast. I believe her name is Iman Vellani. She's an unknown actress, and I think I'm super excited.
She looks very sweet. She looks very fun.
She does. Yeah. Let's see, this is redirecting me. No, I want to skip the ad. Exclusive. After a long and hard search, Marvel has found its Miss Marvel. The studio is tapping newcomer Iman Vellani to star in its Disney Plus series based on the comic book character. Marvel and the streamer recently named Adele El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, Charmin. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher his name. Obaid Chinoy and Mira Menon as directors on the project. Yeah, I'm excited. I never dove into the comics, but everything that I heard from people that read the recent run of I guess the start of her comics have all said they're phenomenal. They're great. One of the podcasts that I used to listen to, Talking Comics, one of the hosts on there, he's this older gentleman. Like, he was buying Fantastic Four like back when it started and stuff, and he was like, this series really reminds me of Stan Lee's Spider-Man. Aww. Just like the magic that it caught of like, holy moly, this is something great. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think Jack mentioned in our Discord that she had been writing the comics and that they were really good. So maybe one day we'll have to go back and read those.
Yeah, when we got the news of the Disney Plus series, you pitched me some She-Hulk, some Miss Marvel, and some Moon Knight. And we ended up going with She-Hulk, which was really fun. But and I feel like the Moon Knight casting must be around the bend if we already know we've got our Miss Marvel and our She-Hulk on deck. We've had them named.
Yeah. We'll see. And then there's been talk, I think we mentioned it last week, there's been talk of a Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury show. So we'll see with that. But I'm excited for that. I'm glad that we're finally starting to get more news on these shows, because I think a couple of them I think Falcon and Winter Soldier should have already been out if it didn't get delayed. Is that right?
Yeah, originally that was going to be the first of these shows. Now that's pushed until sometime next year. I don't know, maybe like a March. We don't have a hard date yet. And WandaVision is due
Something.
by the end of this year, and I think it was confirmed for Christmas release.
Interesting. That seems right. I would say yeah.
Yeah, because I think like somebody timed it
seems like a
out,
good
and it's
spot.
like Christmas is the next Friday after all the episodes of The Mandalorian will have been released.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I mean, they yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm very excited about the Spider-Man news that we got out of nowhere, saying that Jamie Foxx is back as Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as the villain in Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3.
That came out of nowhere.
Right? Nobody was guessing him. I think people have been thinking about more like Toby Peter connections. Nobody's been thinking about the Andrewverse very much at all.
Like they opened up the door to a multiverse and stuff like that. But yeah, like I don't know if this is the direction I was thinking they were going to take it.
No.
I thought they were gonna leave the Tobey Maguire movies behind, the Andrew Garfield movies behind, and just be like, hey, here is Dr. Octopus from another dimension. And it's just not a character that we've seen yet, or an actor that we've seen yet, right? But this is putting an interesting wrinkle in all of this stuff. Especially with remember in that Morbius trailer, there was like that Spider-Man 2 poster in there or something. Like there was the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And people were starting to wonder if the Sinister Six will be from multiple universes.
I want it very much.
Yeah, I'd kind of be into that, where it's like Electro, Jamie Foxx's Electro with Vulture from these movies, and give me Sandman from the Tobey Maguire.
Yes, I want Sandman.
That'd be great.
We need Thomas Hayden Church. Let Paul Giamatti do more as the Rhino. This news and the implication that we seriously
Scorpion and this too.
Yeah, like we seriously are getting closer to our live action Spider-Verse. Toby, Andrew, Tom, them and all their friends and foes coming together in one live action film.
Yeah.
This is the first time in 6 or more months where I sincerely thought, what a time to be alive. This was such delightful news for me. I've really been wanting this for a long time. I think it's something that like this particular franchise is uniquely set up to pull off. We've got such an emotional connection to this lineage of Spider-Man going back to 2002 and all his trials and tribulations bouncing around between all these different directors and actors and franchises and all these villains and the Green Goblin's back and all of this stuff. Like, I want to see all of this come together into something.
See them making oh god, why am I blanking on his name now? James, what's his butt from the first 3 Spider-Man?
Oh, James Franco.
Yeah, that one. There you go. James Franco. I could see them bringing him back as like Hobgoblin. Because he had discovered his father's stuff there. That would be interesting, though I know some people are iffy on James Franco because he's done some not so good things, but yeah, that would be interesting to have a goblin back. I think that would be neat.
Yeah, I want the Tom Hardy Venom and then also the Topher Grace Venom.
No, let's get Topher Grace out of there. I'm sorry, Topher. Not good.
He doesn't have to stick around, but I would love it to be addressed that, yeah, these two exceptionally different actors played the same role. I want to imagine if we see J. Jonah Jameson again and then Ted Raimi sticks his head in. Like, Ted Raimi's back. Everybody's back. I want all the ants. I want it all. I want all of it smashed up together.
Aunt May, enter the Mayverse.
Enter the Mayverse!
So, what do you think Spider-Man 3 will be named? Because we know that they're continuing with the home naming convention. With this news of Jamie Foxx, do you have any ideas of what the name will be? Spider-Man Home something or something home.
If they're going to open the door up into multiverses, they could call it Spider-Man Home Away from Home.
I've thought about that one too.
Yeah.
I think that would suggest that most of the movie wouldn't take place in the MCU that we know.
I would love if they went back to like the way the Sam Raimi New York City looked with all those bright, bold, saturated colors. Go to that weird parade, revamp that parade.
Yeah, right. I don't know. As much as I want the multiverse, I don't know if that is what I want from the multiverse. I think I still want it in the MCU that we know right now. But things are kind of coming in and invading this universe. Like, I think that would be the way to go. And that made me think of, what if it was like, if these things are invading, what if it's home invasion? On one hand, I think that's kind of a stupid name, but like, who knows? Like, I have no idea what it's going to be called.
Spider-Man 3, Hometown Hero.
Yeah, that. Someone said Home Alone, and it's just like Spider-Man defending his house from all of these villains.
Oh,
right?
Man. I like that. You know, it's just like him and Flash Thompson are locked in like Flash's parents' mansion. You know, Flash hosted a party there. All the high school kids are there. They have to defend the Thompson Manor.
Yeah. That'd actually be kind of funny. Yeah, like, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of all the like phrases or sayings with home in
home
there.
And auto
I don't
bundle.
know.
Better home and garden. Spider-Man 3, better home and garden.
No, Melissa, no. It's good. It got my mind thinking, and I'm excited that we're starting to get all of that news and stuff like that. What else we got here? Sam Esmail from Mr. Robot.
Yay!
I think. Look, so I read this article. I don't remember if it was you or if it was Jack that posted it.
I found it somewhere.
Discord.
I think Google just sent me an alert for it. Like, I get weird sporadic Google alerts I didn't sign up for.
I've never set up a Google alert.
I've not set one up.
I don't even know how to do this.
Sometimes I just get like this little like icon on my phone that just says there's Google News for you, and I'm like, I don't know how I got this, but yeah, it will be stuff about. It's mostly about Disney World and James Bond, my two greatest loves.
Right. So you posted this, and it's basically saying like, hey, he has 2 new shows in the works at ABC.
Yes.
But then they went on to continue naming all the other stuff he's currently working on. He has like 30 things in the work.
He should.
Oh my God.
Well, don't overload the man, but like, put him out there. He's good.
I love his stuff. I want a lot of it, but I don't want him overworked, because that to me then sounds like he's not really gonna be involved with these things. Maybe he came up with the initial concept, but that's it. Like, I want him making
Yeah, and like
these
he
things.
does some of his best work, like not just as a showrunner, but as an on the ground director of episodes.
Right. I want his fingers in the pie.
Yes. Pie
Right?
him.
Yeah. But just with seeing the amount of stuff that he's working on right now, I was like, this guy's gonna be the next J.J. Abrams. Like he has his fingers on so many things, and they've all relatively turned out well. I know there was that one show with Rosario Dawson. I don't remember what it was called, but that got canceled. But yeah, like he's starting to be known as that. Like, hey, this is someone you want to pay attention to.
Yes.
And they're starting to give him work, and I think he's just gonna be throwing things up against the wall to see what sticks. And I think in 5 I think in 5 years this guy will be a household name.
I think so.
Like,
You made that
he's
J.J.
gonna be up
Abrams
there.
comparison, and now all I can think about is what if he did a Mission Impossible movie?
Dude, that he'd be great at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I really haven't seen him do action stuff because I've only seen him do Mr. Robot, but that was so phenomenal.
Yeah, and
right?
Mr. Robot is mostly a show about pairs of people engaging in long dialogue sequences.
But it's so riveting.
It is! That sounds boring, but all these conversations are so exciting.
Right? Or just like how weird the tones are,
Yes.
or like the narration he has in there adds this interesting twist, or this weird mix of like fantasy and reality of like I'm standing on a bus and everyone's face is a giant emoji. Right? And just like weird stuff like that. I don't know. Like I want to continue to see him do more stuff and take on, the crime genre, take on an action show, take on something
Horror.
horror, or like some kind of fantasy style show. I think would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what he can do because he's real promising. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
What was I had something else that I didn't write down that I thought of in the midst of all of this. I was like, oh, we should have mentioned that.
Oh, they moved James Bond to April.
That's one of them.
Thank goodness, because I've been so weirdly stressed about it this week because
More Time to Die Part 2.
It originally seemed like far enough away that I'm like, things will settle down by then. And now I'm like, oh no, the clock has been ticking. And I feel like nothing I do is paying off. Like James Bond keeps shrinking farther into the distance. Like I can't reach him. And like I was in a nightmare. Like I'm running through pudding. Like I keep trying and he's still so far away. I won't get there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wild.
moving it to April takes a big load off of my mind. I feel great relief. I was venting to my mom about this, and I sent her a text saying, "Don't worry, Mom, they moved it. I feel much better."
Don't worry, Mom, I have more time to die.
And my mom, who always tries to be supportive, she's like, all you James Bond lovers out there in the world, you're all in this together.
You're all bonded. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I guess the last thing I want to mention for like movie related news is that Disney Plus is getting a group watch feature. I don't know what they're calling it. I think they had a name for it. I think it was like group watch something. But essentially what it is that if you have a Disney Plus account, you can watch the same movie at the same time with multiple people. So, for example, if we watched some Disney movie on the review show, we could potentially have a movie night with the Whatnauts and just be like, hey, guys, if you have Disney Plus, we're all going to be watching Johnny Tsunami at the same time, right?
I was expecting you to name like a Marvel or a Star Wars.
I went with the Disney Channel original.
Johnny Tsunami's
Classics.
He's
Classic
my favorite
Gravity,
Avenger.
right?
Yeah, Johnny Tsunami. That's how they're going to work in Namor.
Hey, you never know. You never know. But yeah, so that's that. Let's wrap things up, though, with Melissa's Cinema Corner.
Yeah.
AKA the cinema is her couch.
Yeah. I watched some X-Files this week. Not cinema, not a theatrical movie. I've just been spending more time with TV. Watching a bunch of Hannibal, some X-Files. I put Thunderball on, the James Bond adventure, but didn't pay much attention to it because I was...
Just kind of on in the
Yeah,
background.
I was hanging up like Halloween decorations and stuff. I did go outside of my normal film watching habits, and last week I watched a plain action movie that involved nothing supernatural or super heroic or spy at all.
Interesting.
I watched this movie called Unstoppable, which is one where Chris Pine and Denzel Washington have to stop a runaway train.
Oh, right. That was the one that I was like, oh, this is the 5th runaway train movie that Denzel has done this year. Because he did like two of them.
Huh.
He had like that one and the like runaway plane one or something. Like he had like multiple. Yeah, he had like multiple like runaway vehicle. Only Denzel Washington can stop it now.
Only Denzel Washington can solve many problems.
I'm sure.
Yeah, whenever Smokey Bear says only you can prevent forest fires, he's speaking directly to Denzel Washington. And they just broadcast the message to everybody, you know, because they went ahead and made it.
Hopefully it gets to him somehow.
He'll hear it. Somebody will tell him.
Yeah.
I saw this bear, and I just got the feeling that the bear was speaking through me to get to you.
Denzel. Oh God! Thank God I found you. This weird bear. You're never gonna believe it.
I watched this because I remember specifically seeing the trailer in college, where I would fall asleep with the TV on, you know, because just for like comfort. Like I had a roommate, but she was never there because she lived fairly close to campus and she'd be at home half the time. So like, I'm lonely, I'm stressed out. Let me just put on some Adult Swim to lull me to sleep. And I remember just like having a break in my sleep one night at like 1 a.m. and I roll over and I look at the TV and it's the trailer for Unstoppable. And I'm like, this is a nightmare. Like I knew intellectually this is a real trailer for a real film, but emotionally I was like, no, this is a nightmare that they put on the TV and I have to roll over and go back to sleep. Like that's not real. That's funny. So I've lived under that conception for a while. And then somebody brought it up on
That's funny.
Maybe on the Blank Check Movie podcast. I don't know, but somebody was saying, oh yeah, that movie is actually really good. Like it is. Huh. It's real and it is real good. So I had a free afternoon. So like, let me go ahead and rent this thing. What an odd film. First off, I'd been under the I believed that the train was running away from like a terrorist or crime reasons. No, it's just like a train yard accident. Like Ethan Suplee just screws up. And that's why the train runs away. Like it's just a tale of like business accidents. And then just these two train engineers are like, welp, we'll stop the train. And the movie, it's the most aggressively filmed movie I've ever seen. There's no like plain shot. Every shot is very short, very choppy, lots of quick cuts, and every shot zooms in on the person while they're talking, even if it's just a normal dialogue scene. It's strange. Like everything's like he keeps shooting them like through the windows of the train, so there's like reflections on their faces. There's no just like plain, like standardly shot, clearly lit, like static camera shot of anybody doing anything. The whole movie is very stressful and frantic. Rosario Dawson is in it. She's wonderful.
She's always good.
Right. I love her. And she's playing the woman who works in like the train command center.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like the harried business person, just the middleman admin, just like punching stuff into a computer and like yelling at people.
I wasn't
on the
even
phone.
supposed to be here today.
God, and the film is like, you can tell so clearly, like, oh, there's kids here to the train yard on a field trip. It's like, that's gonna end badly. Well, we got this guy to try and the helicopter in over the train. It's like, well, that's gonna end badly. Like, everything is so clearly telegraphed as a disaster. It's such an overt disaster movie. No, but I loved Rosario Dawson in this. I felt like she was such a good portrait of just stressed out middleman. And she does this thing where she keeps taking her hair in and out of a ponytail. I'm like, I do that all the time. Like, it's up and it's down because I just need something to do with my hands.
That's funny.
I related to her a lot. I admired her. Great job, Rosario Dawson.
Good job on everything, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Let's see. Kyle's Cinema Corner.
Yeah.
I am trucking along in Deadwood. I'm midway through season 3, so I'm almost done.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, however, I don't think I mentioned this last week because we recorded on Friday, so I had only watched 1 or 2 episodes. They did something I don't think I've ever seen any other show do.
Oh.
They reused an actor that they killed off with a brand new character. Just same actor, different characters.
X-Files did that. Terry O'Quinn from Lost, he was on X-Files 3 or 4 times.
So that's one of the things I saw. Once I realized it was the same actor, because when he first showed up, I was like, where do I know him from? I've seen that actor before.
Yeah.
Why is he so familiar? And then I looked it up and I was like, that's the same actor from the guy that died in season 1. And yeah, then I was like, how many TV shows have used the same actor multiple times for different characters? And yeah, they mentioned Terry O'Quinn in X-Files. They mentioned some more, but most of them were like, well, I would never watch that show, and I would never watch that show.
Law and Order, where it's been on for 20 years.
Right.
It's like nobody remembers this guy from season 3. We can bring him back in season 17.
Right, yeah. But yeah, this is like, he was in season 1, and now he's here again in season 2, but as a different character. Just completely different character. And I was just like, that's so weird. It's wild.
I dig it.
Yeah, that show is still good. It's more of a slice of life show than I think people really mention when they be like, oh yeah, watch Deadwood. There's lots of cussing. You see some titties and stuff too. It's great. It's a slice of life, but just in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good. Let's see, what else did I do? I am actually done watching Hannibal season 1. I went back and I watched the first 20 minutes of Silence of the Lambs. I'm hoping to finish that tonight.
Where's that at?
We'll see how far I get. That's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Easily accessible
as well. Yeah, because once I was done with that first season, I was like, I want to go back and see if there's any similarities or Easter eggs or stuff that like, oh, they're referencing this thing. And just in the 20 minutes, yeah, there definitely is. So good stuff with that. I guess that was my way of like looking up Easter eggs without looking up Easter eggs, because I knew I would get spoiled on stuff in like season 2 and stuff. Just like, I don't want to look up Easter eggs and spoilers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I don't know that I didn't really get to watch more Star Wars Resistance. That's kind of been put on hold. Haven't really started that yet, but or I guess I started it, but I didn't get all that far. That's it. That's it for me. Just watching Deadwood and Hannibal.
Yeah. It's a big week. Deadwood sounds weirdly comforting. Like, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. It was my idea to watch Hannibal. I pitched it to you twice. I really wanted to cover it. This is a show I thoroughly respect, but boy, is it grim. It's been a lot to get through it over the last like week and a half.
It was a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll have our full thoughts on that tomorrow and stuff. But yeah, I think this is a good start to our Halloween month.
Certainly.
On the review show.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Well, Melissa, I think that about wraps us up for this week. Let me do some housekeeping and then we can get out of here. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. If you didn't know that, you were not listening to what we were just talking about. So hopefully you know that we have multiple podcasts here on the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and all of our shows will pop up right there. Let's see, if you guys like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us. We finally put up our Jackbox Party Pack game night as a Patreon exclusive at the $3 tier, so you guys can go watch that if you want to. We had some fun. That's, I guess, more of a Let's Play style content thing, but we just had some fun. We played some Jackbox Party Pack. Played some Quiplash, we played some Trivia Murder Party, we played some TKO. It was good. It was a lot of fun. That's at our $3 tier on Patreon. And we also would like to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, so much for helping us out, for supporting us. We appreciate it a lot. We love you tons. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Melissa. Let's get out of here. Where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with our shows, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe. I think we're still sitting at 89 subscribers on YouTube, so help us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
What am I putting on all this eyeliner for?
Right? Yeah. Like, look, if we can make it there by the end of the year, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Perfectly
incredible.
feasible.
Help us out. Spread the word. We can make it happen, I think. But yeah, go like, share, subscribe, tell a foe, tell a friend, sell your soul, do whatever you need to do to help us out. And with that, this has been episode 114 of The Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a comment down below what you guys think the next Spider-Man movie will be named, because they're doing that like home thing with it. Spider-Man Home Invasion, Spider-Man Home Alone. I don't know. Leave a comment down below with that. And in the meantime, go subscribe to our channel, which is up here in this corner, and go watch one of our other videos, which is down here in that corner. That would help us out a ton. But until next time, goodbye.